It is June 20th, 2021, and today is also Father's Day. So first and foremost, happy Father's Day to all you fathers out there, and to all you mothers that had to pull double duty. Now, unfortunately, I lost my father when, he passed away in 2010. And I really haven't celebrated Father's Day in what is now 10 years, technically. He passed away in September, so my last Father's Day was, with him, last Father's Day was 2010. Now, I don't want to say I've never celebrated Father's Day since his passing, but I never celebrated it the way that it's traditionally done. And sure, I honored my father's memory by doing a lot of different things throughout the years, and not just on Father's Day. But one of the things that we would do is typically after church, we would go for a little drive and go out to eat somewhere. Typically, his favorite restaurant that we'd go to would be Red Lobster. We really use that as a kind of a family gathering place, be it for Mother's Day, Father's Day, birthdays, special holidays, or just for the hell of it. And when we were done eating, typically we would go to a store to walk around. Being that it was Sunday, we would either go to a mall, which sometimes could get really, really packed, or we would get our grocery shopping done for the week. Typically, the store that we would go to would be Fry's. If you've never heard of Fry's, you've probably heard of their sister store, Kroger. Now, living in Arizona, typically church would end around noon, and lunch would end somewhere between 1 and 2, just really depending on how the service was. So typically the walk from the parking lot to the store would almost certainly melt your shoes, because it was somewhere around 110 to 115 in direct sunlight. So we would spend a lot of time in the store going aisle by aisle, picking up every last thing that we needed, but really taking our time. But I remember there would always be 3 things that he would always pick up. He would always get a steak, a 2-liter of his favorite soda, root beer, and his favorite flavor of ice cream, coffee. Now, on a normal day, Mom wouldn't let him have any of those things, at least not for himself. And then we would go ahead and check out for the day. And then we would go home. And I remember after a couple of years of this going on and having my memory jog every once in a while, I'd ask him, Dad, every year on Father's Day, whenever we go to the store, you always get these 3 things. Why? And he looked at me and he took a breath and he said, for 2 reasons. 1, because it's Father's Day and this is my day to be happy. And these 3 things make me happy. So I buy them for myself, and your mother lets me buy them because she knows it makes me happy. And he smiled and he gave a little bit of a chuckle. And I looked at him and I said, well, Dad, you said there's 2 reasons. What's the other reason? And he looks at me through the rearview mirror and says, because you don't earn enough money to buy it for me yet. And then we'd get home, and then for dinner, he would grill himself that steak that he bought, and he'd split it in half and share it with me. He would get 2 cups and put root beer in both. He'd have a cup for himself and a cup for me. And then after dinner we're done, he would get 2 bowls, fill them up with coffee ice cream. He'd have one for himself, and he gave the other to me. Now, you would think that's where the story ends, but it doesn't. There's a second part. Now, that first part of the story, I was 12 years old. For the second part of the story, it's 1 year later, and I'm 13 years old. And I spent most of my time trying to make as much money as I could and saving up, doing odd jobs around the house and for friends of families and the neighborhood families as well. Mowing lawns, washing cars, earning some money. And then Father's Day comes around. We go to church that Sunday. And then afterwards, we go to Red Lobster. And we have a really, really good meal. I mean, good meal. But this time, when the check comes, I grab it. And I take my wallet out and I put money onto the tray, enough to cover my mom, my dad, myself, and my brother for all of our meals, all of our drinks, dessert, and a decent tip. After we're done with lunch, we go to the store to walk. And we go to the exact same fries as we had gone to the year earlier. Now remember, it was about 115 degrees outside. It was hot. So again, we take our time inside the store. While we're in the store, I go ahead and I grab 2 steaks, a 2-liter bottle of root beer, and a carton of my dad's favorite coffee ice cream. And when it came time for us to check out, I grabbed the 2 steaks, the soda, and the ice cream first, and I put those on the conveyor belt, and I put that little line divider between those and our regular groceries. And I paid for the steaks, the soda, and the ice cream. Well, they were done paying for the rest of the groceries. We went to the car, put the groceries in there, got in, and my dad asked me this question. Why did you pay for those? To which I responded, well, because it's Father's Day, and I know it makes you happy. And they also make me happy because they make you happy. And I saw that he started tearing up a little bit. And then I also said, and also because I want you to teach me how to cook a steak. So we got home, unpacked all the groceries, and then we started making dinner a little bit early. Now at the time, we didn't have a fancy grill, and we really only had our oven, our stove. So he taught me how to grill a steak on a cast iron skillet on the stovetop. My dad proceeded to show me how to cook a well-done steak. Don't get ahead of me. He liked his steaks well done, and that's how I always ate my steaks whenever he would give them to me. Well done. I cooked his steak well done, just like how he liked it. And then when I cooked my steak, I made sure it was nowhere near as well done. In fact, my steak was somewhere between medium rare to medium. Honestly, not too bad for my first go at it by myself. Put the steaks on the table. I poured us 2 glasses of root beer. And we both ate a full-size steak for dinner on Father's Day. And then after the dinner was done, I went back to the kitchen. I got 2 bowls and filled them both with his favorite coffee ice cream, and I served it to each of us. And while we were eating our ice cream, my dad asks, why didn't you cook your steak all the way through like mine? To which I replied, well, Dad, you like your steak well done, and I know that that's how you like your steak and it makes you happy. But I'm the reason you became a dad, and well done steaks don't make me happy. Yes, I actually said that to my dad when I was 13 years old. And he chuckled. He had a good sense of humor about it. He never cooked me a steak again. I do miss him at times. I do. And it's been 10 years since I've been able to celebrate Father's Day with him, and it sucks. But life moves on, and it's those memories that I'll hold dear for as long as I can. But I'll still never eat a steak well done. Thank you, Dad, for teaching me that steak doesn't have to taste like shoe leather. I hope you guys like that story, and for those of you that are out there, happy Father's Day. And you guys know what to do. Let's see what tomorrow brings.